Welcome back to the Hobbyist Novice, doing things a little bit different today. Bit of a panel on screen today, a lot to unpack. We went over a lot of things today. A lot to go over, a lot of thoughts of everything that's going on, a lot of exciting things. So I want to go ahead and go around the room a little bit, introduce everybody. Rebekah, if you want to go ahead and get started, we'll pass it along.
Yeah, I'm Rebekah Quests, and I'm so excited to talk about all the announcements today.
Hey, I'm Caroline, often known as LorcanaBelle. You might know me from the Illumineers or the Love to Lore Discord. I'm really excited to get into the good and the bad from today and all the feelings we might have going on.
I am James, otherwise known as DanRegal. I am on the Overexerted podcast, formerly with Citizens of Lorcana, and I basically just really like talking about Lorcana. So I like days like today when I've got a lot to talk about.
There is a lot to talk about. That's true. Well, thanks everyone for joining me today. I know there's a lot to talk about. So, I guess, should we start with the elephant in the room? Obviously, World is a big deal. We got that announcement last week, the confirmation that it's going to be a closed event. I think we pretty much all said a little bit on our social channels, but, just fresh out the mind of everybody. What's everybody's thoughts as we hear this being official now?
I'm pretty upset. I'm in a particular situation, right, where I was ill and then annoyed for all of the season, so could not afford to take a trip to any of them, whether that was cost or risk. And I sort of have my sights set on Worlds as like, if I'm to be able to go to anything, this is what makes the most sense. I will kind of drop for, a good portion of time. I know Disney World. I know sort of the areas that I feel like it would be comfortable being in, and in terms of like on COVID and everything. And this kind of takes all of that away. And it feels a little silly to be super upset about this part when but everybody else, family reunion vibe, getting to go to these events. And I've seen pictures and I've felt the energy from here, and I am the worst FOMO because I've not gotten to have any of that yet. Who knows what the situation will be with DLC Season 2, where those will be, when they will be, if there will be opportunities for me to go. It's just extending the uncertainty, and I know I'm not the only one, right? It's my situation is very specific. There are lots of people who decided not to go to DLCs or to Continent for one reason or the other, and said, I'm going to wait for Worlds. That's going to be the big thing. I'm going to set aside time. I'm going to plan for it, prepare for it. I'll be ready as soon as they announce it on a dime to drop my money on plane tickets, drop my money on a hotel reservation. And now they don't have that opportunity.
That's one thing that makes me really sad for a lot of people in the community, was that had they known months ago before the North American Championships, I know there's a lot of people who would have made plans to be in Anaheim for that event, but they didn't. And I think that's one of the things that I'm bummed about, is just how long they waited to tell the community about it. Who knows how long they've known, but that they would have let the community know sooner than now. And for me, I'm in a unique position because I'm obviously going to be there, which I'm very excited about. And, but I still have so much empathy for the community, because it's not just about me and my experience, it's everybody. So I'm still really sad that it's not going to be this huge celebration. I remember, James, you were in the room at D23 when they announced Disney Lorcana Quest and World's going to be at Disney World. And it was everyone was so excited. And so I think that it was just a big let down from this thing that had kind of been built up for so long in the community. So there's nothing we can do about it. It is what it is, and hopefully next season is greater, but then greater than what we were even hoping for. But it's pretty big bummer.
I already knew I wasn't going to Worlds. This was all the DLCs I managed to go to, and Anaheim was basically I was the exact opposite of LorcanaBelle, where these were the things I could go to, and I knew I wasn't going to Worlds. So the personally, this news does not bum me out for what I was able to do, was going to be able to do. But as you say, Rebekah, I am very sympathetic to everybody else who is now very bummed.
Mhm.
And I'm bummed for them. And I think it sucks that we had this news so late in the game.
Yeah.
And that there's a lot of people who now have all these hopes and dreams of being at this awesome event, dashed. And the only hope I have is that this is just the one-off, just the only one that'll ever be this way. And going forward, every other event is DLC level and nationals level and bigger and better from there. And so we have in the future chance to actually be at these things. So that's the only hope I have, that this is just, let's just do it the one time like this. You can dash our hopes once, don't do it again.
Oh, do it again.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping. Go ahead, Rebekah.
I was gonna say, the other thing, even about, sympathizing with the whole community, is even people who wouldn't be able to be at the event in person. It's like we all live through the eyes of other people in the age of social media, and seeing people post about the event, sharing pictures, sharing videos from there live as the event is happening is something that I think a lot of people were looking forward to, seeing their friends and creators at those events. And so even for people who weren't planning to be there in person, you're still kind of missing out on what the event could have been in that sense.
To me, I was looking at this like this giant celebration for this game that we've all loved now for almost 2 years now. It's just pretty crazy thinking about it. And this was like culmination event, something we've all been waiting for, this huge celebration like was said to us in D23. And to just kind of like see that go up like nothing after waiting months, it's really tough. Like, and kind of like what Rebekah was saying, like I didn't go to North American Championship because I was going to go to Worlds. So it was like one or the other for me, even though I do go to Disney World a lot. But like, I feel like it was one or the other either way, just because of how much the cost is, the planning, everything that goes into it. And that's what sucked. Like what Rebekah said, I think a lot of people were planning around that. It's like, maybe I can only go to one of these events, and this was the one I want to go to because it's a big one. And to just kind of see that go up in flames was tough.
I saw a lot of people in the community talking about like a whole new world promo that they were really excited to get. And when they announced last week, they didn't say anything about the promo, but of course, now we know that people will still get a chance to get that promo. And I don't know if that affects how you guys think about them deciding to make it closed, that they're still making that promo card available. I'm curious to see how the community reacts to that update in the news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good that they're still making it available. Like, at least they're delivering on one of the things they announced for us. But at the same time, like a promo card and an event at your LGS is no substitute for the experience that we were promised.
As a collector who must have one of everything, I'm very happy that they're making it available, but I just assumed that one of the many friends I've made in Lorcana along the way would be going to Worlds and manage somehow to get an extra. So I wasn't really super worried about it until we found out, like, okay, now it's shut down, but okay, now we know that we're getting it at our local game store. So that aspect of it really just basically was a short time of uncertainty about it, but the whole time I just assumed that I would be getting one in some way, even if I just had to buy one off eBay.
Yeah, in here.
And Rebekah, going back to your point about viewing vicariously through social media, like that's been my entire experience over the last year of this, first season of organized play, and that's something I've really leaned into hard. Of like, I quarterback from home, like I stalk Melee, and I'm all over social media. There's a brief time where I was like, I watched every single minute of footage from most of the challenges for the Pun Cal, like all of that, and to only have 28 people there, and not just 28 people, but like they're going to be plugged in. They're going to be focused on competing, and as well they should be. So the amount of footage that we're gonna get from that weekend gonna be teeny tiny, and like this is.
I'll be my best.
No, I mean I know that you will, but at the same time, like there's
But it's
big
not the
difference.
same.
There's
Yeah.
a big difference between the curated, produced footage of a Twitch broadcast versus live on the ground.
Sure.
In person on the convention floor. 2, 3,
I-
4
yeah.
agreements with spending time together.
Yeah. I do think that, obviously our casting team is fantastic with Liam, B Squared coming back, with me, Baker coming over from the UK, and then JDZ. Like it is going to be, I think, a really fantastic broadcast. I am so excited about this team that they've assembled for the World's broadcast.
We are
So
too.
I think, and we talked, among ourselves that we are like, we have to make this like the best broadcast for all the fans that are watching, because y'all can't be there in person. So it's like, we're going to be putting everything that we can into this broadcast to make it as exciting as possible and bring as much of the event to the fans as we can that are watching from home. But it won't be the same, like you're saying, but we are definitely committed to making it as fun and exciting as possible. And I think with the 5 of us, we can have some.
I was gonna say that if that is what is happening, I don't think there's any people that I would trust more with that responsibility.
Yeah, I think it's a great broadcast team. Honestly, I feel like we could probably talk about Worlds for hours. Or it's like everything that went down.
There's a lot to do.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Sure.
We did get a lot of announcements, though. A lot of good stuff, too, coming up. We did get some more information on Reign of Jafar as we're starting a reveal season officially now. I'm really actually excited about the Set Champs card. I mean, to me, it's actually probably the best Set Champs card that's come out as far as the art of it. John Lauren did amazing with Christian Romero on that one. What did everyone think about what we saw from Reign of Jafar so far?
At least, yes, it'd be. I love the sand effects on some of the cards. Like those, they look really, really cool.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the Set Champs card, and I'm gonna give a slight argument that the art is really amazing, but I don't think it tops Rockstar Stitch by.
Yeah.
I was gonna agree.
Yeah, I'm still the Skull is number 1 for Set Champs cards, but it is second best now, I think.
That's great.
But I think it's really really cool because not only are we getting a good Set Champs card, but we're actually, I mean, unless there's some other weird stuff in this set, I feel like that's actually going to be a very, very playable card for the first time. I mean, the Ursula did get played and actually has been getting played even recently. It's getting played again, but it's like 2 ofs in some decks, not like in like every deck of that color. And I think this is going to be in like most Amethyst Steel decks going forward. It's just too good of an effect. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with that card. So I think that's really the cool thing about it. And all the other cards we saw, like I said, Bambi, so cute. The art still, again, amazing art. How do they keep making such awesome art every single set? They just have so many good artists.
Yeah.
And I mean, what else can we say except for it's like they have this level that they've reached of awesomeness on both the art and just making cards that seem like they're gonna just fit right into our decks, that it's like it almost feels bad saying business as usual, but their level of business is so high. It's like business as usual.
Yeah, it is ridiculous how good it is. I also love the name of the Jafar card, High Sultan of Lorcana. That's like such a great name for the card.
This is the first time we've gotten the word Lorcana in.
I think
No, I think it is. We might have seen Lorcana. In fact, I'm pretty sure that we've seen Lorcana in flavored.
Yes.
Not in the name, but not in the name of a card. I think this is the first time it's been in the name, and especially the name on an actual like character Glimmer.
Yeah, very cool.
I also like too the.
I also love the. Wait, I'm just really excited about the Enchanted card.
Yes.
Jasmine looks so gorgeous. And I know that they have kind of like each set comes with the enchantments have like their own look and feel to this. And I am so excited to see what the rest of the enchanted cards look like, because Jasmine is just gorgeous. And I can't imagine like with the glimmer, like the rainbow foil on it, it's going to look so good.
One thing that's cool about the enchantments too, I feel like, I know that every set does have like their own enchanted feel, but I actually feel like it's somewhat as a bridge from Arcasia's Islands enchanted too. I know Viv Tanner did that.
Yeah, very much.
Very similar art style. I feel like I love that art style. Like Arcasia's Island to me has the best enchanted set for me anyway. It looked more like just classic Disney all throughout, which I loved.
Yeah, there's definitely some very like stylized choices in terms of the art, but the vibrant colors are really coming through in those here. I also think that you can see, even just from the set Champs Jafar and the Jasmine, like the sort of through line of the art style, like the angles and the use of color and the way that the faces are done, like very similar.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see what other cards
Me too.
get chosen for.
And can we talk about for a second how the Illumineer's quest for this set, the Palace Heist, is completely transformed to an actual board game setup with
Thankfully.
a board, not a paper board.
Much needed.
Little deck boxes. Do you see the little deck
Yes,
boxes for
that was awesome.
each of the pre-made decks that are in there? So yeah, it definitely is looking very cool. I really like the setup and how you can put it on your shelf, have your board game, bring it down. If you want to keep everything set, you have your pre-mades in there. You can throw in a deck if you're going to have more than 2 people. I think it's going to be really cool. And I think the setup of it, where you're not fighting Jafar, but you're trying to steal the crown out from under him, I think that's a really cool. It's as they say, it's really focusing in on how they can alter this Illumineer's quest idea to be a variety of things, where they can make a different board game out of it each time.
Yeah, I love it.
As a board game enthusiast, I am very excited about this. Illumineer's Quest is actually the format I play the most, particularly in my house with the other folks that I play with. So very excited for this upgrade. Very excited that we're getting sort of totally new mechanics and totally new approach and story to this. Because like with it being the Hexwell Crown, like Jafar is sort of after the same kind of thing that Ursula was after. It could have been very repetitive, but they're taking a totally different approach with it. I'm super here for it.
Yeah. I'm so curious to know how it'll play, and I can't wait. It's going to be tons of fun.
And you mentioned earlier that sand effect, which we didn't really get a really close look at it in the stuff for the Palace Heist. But if you want to get a close look, the D23 Iago has that sand effect. So you can see it close up in pictures people have been posting, because that card is now shipping. But if you also take a close look at the Palace Heist image, you can see that there's some cards in there that they didn't really tell us about. There's a Goofy and a Pinocchio in there. You gotta zoom. You gotta get a good zoom going.
Enhance.
It looks like Pinocchio is being like tossed off something in that. I don't know what what's going on there, but super excited.
So even Pinocchio.
Yeah, he was totally yeeted. And moving past Reign of Jafar, we did get a lot of conversation now with Fabled coming out after Reign of Jafar, with our first set of rotation, new rarities, a lot going on with Fabled. What are your guys' thoughts?
So much information to digest.
Many rarities. I mean, I think that is really exciting. And of course, they're all going to be very rare and very hard to get and all of that. But I'm excited that there's more case cards out there. And especially with the epic cards in particular, because they said that those are going to be, cards that we've already seen, but like the expanded art. And I think that there's so much good art out there, but being able to show more of the existing art that's in the game and then applying cool foil effect. Anyway, I just think it's really cool. And I mean, James, you're like a collector, so how are you feeling about those new rarities?
Well, I'm really looking forward to getting some of them, but I'm not sure my pocketbook is really enjoying the idea of getting all of them, especially those iconics, which there's no telling. I mean, they could put those things in one every 10 cases, one every 20 cases. Who knows? But there's only 2 of them. If there's only 2, you know it's going to be hard to find.
Yeah, I think we're talking about $1,000 card again for what I'm for sure.
Yeah.
I'm so excited they're doing these new rarities. They're like, that's something I've been saying the last couple of sets. It was needed, like some other type of set within a set to collect. So I think from what we saw, 18 epic cards per set, 2 iconic, like James said. So, and I did ask, like, as far as the enchanted cards go, those are not going to go down. So they are still going to stay around the same amount of enchanteds that we've been seeing too, which is good to see too. So a lot more stuff to collect for sure.
Gonna be fun. I can't wait. This is like what, and so far away because that's what, the end of August, beginning of September for Fabled release. But those are gonna be. I don't always watch a lot of pack opening videos, and I'll watch some. But I'm like, I'm gonna be watching so many when Fabled because I want to see people. Car.
Yeah, I want to see people open those epic cards. I'm really interested to see what that rainbow foiling looks like in person. It looked really pretty on stream, and the way that it rotates and shines.
And the fact that the epics are going to be harder to find than legendaries, but easier to find than enchanteds. There's actually a lot of room in there because legendaries are about 1 every 6 packs. You get about 4 per box, right? And enchanteds are about 1 every 4 boxes. So that's about 1 every 100 packs. That's 1 every 6 packs and 1 every 100 packs. That's a lot of room to put it in between there. And so I'm really hoping it's closer to the 6. Yeah, I'm hoping it's 1 every 24.
That's
That's a big wall.
It's really good for a new rarity so that it enhances the box opening a little bit more so you're not bummed if you don't get an enchanted. So you do get at least something extra in a box now. I feel like that's where it should be, but we'll see whether it is or not.
Yeah, I feel like it is needed to be 1 per box. I feel like that would be huge for collectors and just everyone in general who's into collecting these cards.
Yeah, then it might actually be affordable.
Yes. Especially with 18.
I'm not quite James level, but we are a little bit of collectors. I haven't gone after like E23 promos or anything, but I did just get this guy the other day. There was an unopened set at the new LGS near our new house, and I was like, I'll take that. Thank you very much. It was part of the store owner's collection, and she's getting out of Lorcana for some reason. I was like, your loss is my too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So, but really excited to see what other arts they pick for the iconics too, because we have a general idea of what the iconic cards will be with Mickey and Minnie on the front, but with the iconic cards all be is that Elsa? So, any guesses? I mean, any wants? Oh yeah, epic, not. Yeah.
Wow. That elf is actually one of the top. I love that art. That's one of my favorite arts that has come out for all of them.
Cool art.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Nicholas Cole did such a good job on that card.
Yeah. Well, so we're talking about all these new rarities and Fabled, but I think one of the most controversial things to come out of the announcement of Fabled is the rotation.
Absolutely.
That's coming to the game, and that's a pretty big deal, right?
Huge.
Yeah, very big deal.
4 sets.
Gone. Yeah.
So many cards and so many decks right now. And I know they said about half of Fabled, I believe, is going to be reprinted. So I'm curious where will
more than half.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a little more than half, or whatever they say, just more than half, some number more than half. But 800 and about 850 cards? No, 824 cards, whatever it is.
816.
816. 815 cards are going away. If 116 cards are coming back, that's 700 cards that are not going to be legal anymore. That's a lot of cards.
Yeah.
A lot.
So, I mean, what that means for the collector, those cards are going to probably dip in value because now they are no longer legal. and they will not be getting played, which means people will just like out of sight, out of mind kind of thing for the players. For the players, it's actually really good, especially new players, because anything that gets reprinted is you can use the old ones if you have them, or just get the new ones, which were going to be cheaper, and everything will be cheaper now because now you have reprints. Old stuff will get cheaper. So if a card's $10 now of an old set, it's probably going to go down like $5, maybe less. So everything's going to get less expensive, which is great for the game and getting new people onboarding, which is the point, is to continue to keep new players coming into the game and being able to afford the game to get involved in it. And
Not huge.
not making the where you have a lifetime of cards you have to collect in order to play the game.
Yeah.
And also just new players that are coming in competitive play, like if you had a lifetime worth of cards to choose from to build your decks, that would be so hard to come in as a competitive player. And so I think that in that respect, it is like, I am in favor of the set rotation. I know there's a lot of mixed feelings probably out there, but I think it's good because then you're keeping the pool a little smaller for the cards that folks are looking at for deck building. It's going to feel like a shock, I think, the first set, that we're going from, like you said, 8 sets down to 5. But I think that for getting new players into the game, both from collectors and as players, and having that smaller pool that you're building decks from, is going to be good for the longevity of the game.
Yeah, it's gonna be really interesting what that like first card that popped up that's very controversial that it's not in this set and no longer is able to be paid. So, because there's just so many cards that people play and all these meta decks now, it's gonna be very easy to leave one out. And like, I also wonder, like legendary wise, based on these past 4 sets we're sunsetting, is we're gonna get the same amount of legendaries in Fabled, or is it gonna be completely different? Like, are we gonna get double the legendaries because we're reprinting? So I'm curious to see how that lays out too.
So we did see the Maleficent Dragon is going to be in there. So we do know that legendary is a reprint. That was the only legendary that they showed, I believe.
Giant King.
But like a huge Winnie the Pooh fan, but that Honey Wizard Enchanted is pretty
special art.
Yeah. But so far, this is going to be, going back to that, I just think it's going to be interesting to see once we get to Fabled, to see how that competitive play is going to be really interesting.
There was also a discussion I had with a bunch of competitive players when Dual Inks were first revealed, but we didn't know how they would work yet. Well, can you play this in either color, or you have to play both colors? And the answer I kept hearing, which wasn't my first instinct, was that restriction breeds creativity. And the more I think about that, the more it makes sense, right? Like if you are given a smaller card pool, you're going to have to get more creative about the way that you build your decks and the interactions that you choose to focus on, because you have no other choice.
What card would you be the most sad?
Oh, that's tough.
I'd say I haven't even this. Oh, well, okay, yeah. Okay, card that's currently illegal from the first 4 sets.
One of the fire players in Stay One, so like still very sad about it. You. But no, in terms of legal cards currently, I would be very sad to lose Popsicle.
I'd be very sad to lose Mem Fox. I feel like that's just such a constant for me in so many decks.
I'd be very sad to lose Rapunzel, gifted with you. She's one of the only reliable card draws in ever.
That would be mine too.
I would be sad to lose Be Prepared.
Reset.
That I need my reset button.
Well, the fun thing is that the way they've set up rotation and the way that they've set up worlds, which worlds should be the same time of year every year going forward, is worlds will always be happening in the meta that has the most cards available in the 8 sets available worth of cards meta, which I think is very cool, because then you have the widest range of cards and hopefully the most diverse meta going into Worlds, I think is the best thing.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I agree.
Smart of them to set it up that way. I also think it's really smart to plan Worlds at the end of a meta so that players are not scrambling to figure out something new. They have time to plan things out a little more.
Prepare. Yeah. It will be prepared.
Yeah, it's definitely
The other thing about Fable. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to transition a little bit. It was the other exciting thing about Fabled that we cannot forget to talk about is the Goofy movie.
Yes. So excited to see that coming out.
Power line in the game.
We've been asking for so long and we're finally getting it. I'm so excited.
I feel like the Goofy movie has had such a renaissance in the past 3 to 5 years where it's all over the parks now too again. It's so cool to now to see coming into the game finally. We've all been asking for it.
It's that millennial.
The art they shared is
Yeah.
super fun.
Yeah, the art is really, really cool for what they've shared. Looking at it like that's a song card, right? That's a live card.
Probably on my eye.
So that's going to be amazing. So I really hope that's an awesome card because it needs to be.
And for me personally, what I'm most excited for coming to the game, announced in 2026, Darkwing Duck is finally coming into the game.
Yeah.
I've been asking since set 1.
Let's
I'm
get
in dying.
dangerous.
Duck.
Yeah, as soon as they open the door,
Put a count on here. Not yet.
as soon as they opened the door to DuckTales, I was like, Darkwing?
I thought it would be that set for sure. Once saw all those DuckTales characters and Gizmo Duck Puck, I'm like, he's got to be in this set. But we are getting him, finally.
That's how they just
2026?
if they ever needed something to just
right?
keep pulling you and pulling you and keep waiting.
Yeah.
It's like they always have these little things that they can hit these little triggers on and be like, oh, let's throw one card in from this franchise just to tease and keep that person who loves that franchise to keep paying attention.
Yep.
That's is that one? Wasn't there just one Treasure Planet card or something?
Mm-hmm.
The one John Silver and that was it, So.
Very smart.
And 2026 has, Darkwing Duck, they announced today, and then we already know that Pocahontas is coming in 2026, and then all of Pixar, Pixar is coming in 2026. So 2026 is going to have a lot of really
It's going to be crazy. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun cards.
I mean, before then. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, I just kept thinking Pocahontas was 25. I guess, 26 is crazy.
No. 25, what they've announced is Black Cauldron. And basically, it's not a Whispers in the Well key art we got to see. It's really going to fit well, and I'm very excited. We also saw that
Gargoyle?
little gargoyle in the corner. Falling back to our yet again, millennial nostalgia, the gargoyles for me.
I love it. I love seeing all the Disney afternoon stuff pop up.
I never watched Gargoyles. I missed out on that. I think I was too old when it came out.
It's interesting because I feel like gargoyles hit a very specific audience. I feel like my dad was almost more into gargoyles than I was. Just simply because of its comic book feel. The anime is very much in the same vein of than the animated series.
Which is interesting because just this weekend at Free Comic Book Day, there was a Gargoyles comic.
Yes,
for Free Comic Book Day. Yeah.
Hey.
It's still going.
Yeah.
Oh no, man. The other thing that the Whispers in the Well art makes me really, really excited about is they have Ariel in the art. And Ariel is my favorite Renaissance Disney princess, and we have not seen a single new Ariel since Ursula's return.
That's true.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
So, yeah, that was the last time that we saw Ariel, and so what's your Henry coming back?
I wonder if there's a story reason.
Oh,
Especially because they mentioned Whispers in the Well, we're getting this new ethereal glimmer type.
Real.
And like, what does that mean? And why is Ariel the very first ethereal glimmer we're seeing? Like, is that story significant?
No, the story is going to be real fun.
Lore detectives.
Yeah.
Yes. That like Detective Mickey again from like the first chapter.
Yeah.
Like the same like kind of like steampunk Detective Mickey from the Sapphire one. It's weird. It's like similar-ish vibe.
I didn't get the greatest look at the art. Was it Mickey or was it Minnie? Because it looked more like a steampunk Minnie.
Yeah, I think it was Mickey.
It's Mickey. Yeah.
And he doesn't, I was going to say, he looks a little more steampunk and a little less detective.
Yeah.
It's almost like maybe Detective Mickey ended up floodboard.
Could be.
Yeah. If ever they start doing sets in the future, this is just a wish, that are like really super themed, like for a whole set, like I want a whole like super steampunk. Yes, and like everybody's just like, oh, Steve. Yeah. Yeah, Whispers in the Well looks super cool. I mean, they gave us that like little teaser.
Yeah. And I know we touched on collectors a little bit earlier, and on the topic of that, we did get the information about the collection starter set coming in too, which includes a portfolio emblazoned with that DLC Golden Mickey in full color art, which I loved. I've been waiting for something to come out with that and like the full color, because everything they show, the backdrops, the DLCs, it looks so good. Another thing Nicholas Cole just did like an insane job with. What do you guys think about the collection that coming out?
I think it's a fun idea. I think it's a cool, like, hey, if you want to get into collecting, this is, a little guide. I think you have a lot of collectors who are already very well versed in the game who are also going to buy it because of the Giant Team promo.
Yeah.
I do think it's a smart product for them to make, right? Like, I think it's a smart thing to put on the shelves at Target or Walmart or Best Buy or wherever, hopefully having the Disney park, Like, I think it's a smart product for them to put out there to introduce people who are the super duper Disney fans, haven't yet started doing anything with Disney Lorcana. I think it's a great way to get people introduced to this world of Disney Lorcana, the cards and the art. And I think it's a lot less, it's like the lowest barrier of entry, like picking up a single player deck or even Gateway is still a heavy lift for somebody to like learn a brand new game. And so I think that this collector's starter set is just a really smart product, because it's like, here's a way to get introduced to Disney Arcana. Super fun, low-key, just find a card set you love and collect them. So I think it'll hopefully introduce a lot more new players to the game or new collectors, and I think that that's really great to grow the game.
And it's dropping at the normal release time of that set is like end of November, beginning of December, which is gift buying time. And we know that there's going to be a lot of parents and siblings and grandma and grandpa who are going to be running into the store looking for something. And if after previous years of knowing that the person they're buying from is into trading card games, and they go over to that aisle and having something that looks like the things that they've been buying for Pokemon, where they have those window boxes with the collection in there saying this is what comes with it, the folder, the promo, the this. If it looks like that, but now it's Disney, and they're like, they collect cards, they probably like Disney. Let's buy this for them because it's yourself, Why not? It's perfectly fitting that mode of thing also, where it's a perfect gift to give at that time of year as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that they're putting this together, honestly. I think it's a nice, like, saying, hey, collectors, we see you. But I also think it's just great for the parks. Like Rebekah kind of touched on too, like, this is perfect. Like, you get 4 packs of cards in it. You have a little portfolio. You can walk around, get the signatures of the characters inside the parks too. I think this is a great product for parks, and I hope they do push this more into the parks to get them more involved with Lorcana in the parks itself.
Yeah.
Gift shots and have Lorcana bag, right?
Sure. Good. But right now, as far as I know, at least at Disneyland, maybe not in DCA, but in Disneyland, the only places that they have Lorcana are at the pin shop.
Yeah.
And anywhere you can get pins is where Disney Lorcana is. It's not in World of Disney or the Emporium or other gift shops. And like, they need to have it more places and more visibility in the parks. And I've seen like content that I created that talk about getting character signatures in the park has always like this been highly shared. And there's the only people who don't even really play Disney Lorcana that have had reels go viral from sharing that they get cards signed in the park, because it's such a great way for kids and adults to interact with the characters and a great memory to take home. So I agree.
It's like such a nice step up from the little books that you get signed, the little autograph books. Like, it's so much cool. These things I love it personally, and I'm really hoping to see these really getting growth in the parks. And like you were saying, Disney World, it's only in the pin trading shops, and World of Disney,
With the thing?
we're in the actual.
Oh yeah.
At DCA, just about a month ago, a friend of mine shared a picture. They actually have a whole Lorcana section and off the page in DCA now.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice. Nice place to have it in there.
I was going to say, I think with Arcasia's Island release, they've started putting it in more places at Disney World.
Or places.
Yeah. The word is starting to get out to some more Disney fans. I think what would be really interesting would be to do like a park-specific version of a collector's set that includes some of those like signature cards that they've done.
Yeah, the autograph cards, yeah. That would be nice. I thought in my dreams someday they'll sell like booster packs that are all autograph cards.
That would be amazing.
So that would be random. Like the packet, it can even be just like 6 cards, you know? It doesn't have to be a full like 12, but like if you had 6 random cards of Disney characters that were all common in the park, that were all those autographed signature cards, that would be super fun to sell those in the park. So Ravensburger, if you're listening,
That would
like you said,
brain.
I do think though that it does show that Ravensburger is like, hey, like you said, collectors, we see you. We know that there are people out there that is the primary way that they engage with Disney Lorcana is as collectors. And so I think that is a really nice acknowledgement. And even with the rarities, so between the collector set and the 2 new rarities, that is really, really for the collectors out there.
And given like our wish list, like I would love, does anyone remember Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom in Disney World? Okay.
Yes.
So what I would love to see is that you can go to the firehouse, even though no one's there anymore, but just go in there, get a pack, 3 cards in it, autograph cards. You can get 1 per day. That would be amazing. And what a way to just like spread the word of Disney Lorcana.
Yeah.
That'd be so cool.
And if you came back at the end of the day with like all 3 of them signed, you could get like a special
That
in-park
would be
promo.
awesome. Start getting those party-specific promos again that used to go with Sorcerers of the Magic Kingdom. That would be so cool.
Yeah. Halloween. Mickey's Not So Scary and Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, they used to give out party-specific promo cards for sorcerers.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I have almost all of them, and I've never been to a single party. That was like peak time when I was with the company.
Yeah, those are great. So is there anything you guys were expecting from the announcements that we did not see? I think there's a couple things. I'll say Judge Program to kick it off.
Yeah. That was on that. I think Judge Program, and then I was hoping that we would get more information about season 2 of the Disney Lorcana challenges. That is the other big thing. We know more information.
At least we know when we're getting that information.
Yeah.
Even if we're
I appreciate that.
So yeah,
I appreciate knowing. Yeah. So
yes.
at least we know that. But I was hoping we'd hear more sooner.
That's basically all I really was looking forward to, was more upcoming season information and just more about how things are going to get run in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the other thing is that I would have liked to hear something about Disney Lorcana Quest, which kind of full circle brings us back to like the world's discussion, and so they did not mention anything about Disney Lorcana Quest at all. So who knows what that means?
We just gotta cross our fingers that eventually it will still happen, and that they're just working on it in some other way, And
asking for, then eventually they'll give it to us. That's how it works, right?
Some aspect of it, hopefully.
I mean, technically, yes, it works, especially with what's been happening. I mean, obviously, they haven't given us like everything that we've been asking for, but you look at the things that we're getting with this announcement. We're getting more rarities, we're getting Goofy Movie, we're getting Darkwing Duck. All of these things that we're getting have been like top 10 things that we've been hearing chatter about for the last year and a half since the game came out, of things that people want. So I think that they are listening. And like you say, I'm really hopeful that they are hearing how much people want social play to be a significant portion of what's happening with this game. Because, I mean, support those people who go out and play multiplayer, who play team decks, make that a thing where there is some kind of support for that, or whatever they can do, because all of the people that are not at the competitive level and are not in just the collector space only, there's a whole chunk of people in that social play area where they go to play the game at a game store because they want to have fun playing the game. But if everything's always just geared towards competitive, it's not as fun. So they do need to handle what's happening with that big chunk of social play. And it may not be as big as competitive, but it's not zero, that's for sure.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be zero. And I know that, like, in other trading card games, like, you look that the social players in the community is really kind of like, those are the people that are buying lots of sealed product and that are like really the beating heart of the game. It's like the competitive plays, like the high profile, the loud voices, the things that you like see a lot. But I think it's actually a smaller percentage of players in the community. Like if you look at a game like Pokemon, like the competitive players, I think is like a smaller percentage from what I understand of like all the people that are playing socially and like pitching table games or just for fun or like the multiplayer. So I do think that there's a need there to, like you said, James, you'd have the collectors on one side and then the competitive players on the other side, and we need to, like, all the social players, we need to have some support there for those people as well. Which Caroline and I, we actually, Dan, and thanks to Dave, would probably more put ourselves in that social play category, maybe. Yeah.
And I love the social play. I mean, I'm really happy when between set champs and new set, when our local game store decides to run 2v2 or, more common or whatever you want to have. And I'm hoping that this time between the two, we do feature movie or double feature where we get to build theme decks. I really want to have that space in there for those people who aren't as competitive to come in and have a good time. And for all of us who are leaning more towards competitive, to have a break and to see that, you can also have fun with this game too.
Yeah.
Not just, if you think competitive is fun, sure. But also there's other parts and other ways to have fun with the game.
Sure.
Well, and I think that's something that, like, you have to consider is that while, yes, there are things in this game that are for these different chunks of players, 9 times out of 10, players don't fall into just one category. Sure. Like, even the top players, a lot of them would consider themselves collectors. Like, you look at guys like RMB, he calls himself the Tamatoa of Lorcana because he collects all of the shiny cards, all the shiny, wants all the enchanteds. He completely foils out his deck. And he's not the only one. Like, lots of players at that top level want to do that. There's so much overlap in how people engage the game, and nurturing all of those different sort of circles of the Venn diagram is how this game is going to continue in the way that it has in these 2 years.
I do wonder when we get more information at Worlds about what's to come in the next season. One thing that we didn't really talk about in the set rotation discussion earlier was the new Infinity constructed format.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of wonder if that new constructed format, the Infinity, is going to somehow tie into more social play with like the theme deck building and multiplayer and stuff like that, and that if they'll start supporting more like official social play formats, but using Infinity instead of the core constructed with the set rotation and ban list. You know, I could see that happening. We'll wait and see, but I am glad that they kind of made that Infinity format like an official thing so that stores can run events as Infinity constructed and have people able to play all of their cards. I think that's really, really good.
Yeah, I think they
how that intersects with social play will be interesting.
Yeah, I think they did try and interject some social play stuff with Pack Rush. I think Pack Rush is great. That was a nice, easy, casual way to play. It's honestly like the only way I like opening my packs now. So that was good to see. But yeah, I mean, I think social, it's a huge chunk. I think it's actually, it might be more of a chunk than they realize it is, as far as how many social players there actually are. Because I think Lorcana is a very family-friendly game. Like I've said multiple times on here, but like before that, my kids never played TCGs. My wife never played TCGs. Now we all play TCGs. And I feel like that's a lot of, locally anyway, and from what we see on the internet a lot too, a lot of people have never played TCGs are now playing TCGs. Not so much competitively, but we're playing.
This is my first TCG, and I wouldn't have even started playing it if it were not for my husband, who, you know, two and a half years ago said, "Hey, Disney's coming out with their own TCG, kind of like Magic. Do you wanna try it?" And I was like, "That's interesting. Tell me more." We watched a few YouTube videos and took off from there. So it's definitely a family. It's definitely something that families engage with, and I think that you have to, when comparing Disney Lorcana to other TCGs, you have to remember that the Disney IP speaks so differently to audiences than any other IP that has.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even Pokemon, which is also like, you know, friendly / kid focused in terms of its other, you know, offerings. Disney, particularly in the West at least, has such a different pull, a wider and greater and deeper pull for all generations.
Yeah. And they, I'm sorry, let me cut you off. No. But I know that Ravensburger kind of officially said that they're trying to entice Disney fans to the game with the collector's set. And I hope that the people at Ravensburger understand that, like, Disney fans are not just collectors, right? All the people who I know that are social players are the Disney fans. I think that you have a lot of Disney fans that are just collectors, but most of the people that I know who are very much want to play the game, but not at a competitive level, that's where most of the Disney fans, I think, are going, is to social play. And so for me, from my perspective, I'm like, if you want to entice Disney fans to the game, then support more social play somehow. That's kind of what I hope they would understand more, is that Disney fans are just as much wanting to play this game as anybody else. They just want to play it in a different way, not competitively.
Yeah, that's why I kind of really want to see this get more engulfed in the parks. Like, especially like even in the hotels, like they have so many events in the hotels every day where it's playing sports, learn how to play, learn t-shirt stuff, whatever it might be. That's a great opportunity to say, hey, learn how to play Disney Lorcana from 2 to 3.
And what a great activity that would be for our children's activities.
Yeah.
I was in Disney. I was in Disney parks and resorts recreation for like 3 years. So that's
cruise ships.
That's my
exact
on the cruise ships. That would be another activity. Yeah. A learn to play session like every other day on your 5-day voyage or something. Like,
that would be
why that.
Ravensburger, Disney, you got some free ideas from us.
Yeah, the one thing I do want to point out, Ravensburger too, like I think we are going into a new era as far as communication goes, which I really like to see. I think they really got ahead of the World's announcement here too, which was really nice to see also.
Yes.
I mean, as disappointing as it is, that was much needed. I mean, we all heard people booking stuff that morning.
Right.
So I've done had that.
I had lots of friends in my local server that booking stuff on unconfirmed information, and I was like, Don't do. Why would you do that?
Yeah,
To see Greg,
the details.
pull the trigger on a emergency broadcast, essentially, to protect the community in that way, meant a lot. And I think hopefully that's a first step in a string of new communication strategy to open that flow of information more with the community.
I'm just saying, we don't have information about season 2 of Disney Arcana Challenge. That information is forthcoming at World is when we'll announce it. Like, just being able to communicate when we're getting more information, even, I think is really good. I think for the past, like, it feels like the past 6 months, there's been like, it feels like zero. I would say it feels like zero. And I feel like there was like that one announcement saying we'll have more information about World back in February.
Yeah.
And so I really am excited that they have Greg Tito on their team, and that it does seem like communication is going to be that's fairly exciting.
Absolutely. Oh, there's a lot to look forward to, a lot going on. I thank everyone here joining me today. Good conversation, a lot to talk about. I hope everyone got to watch Twitch stream. Let us know in the comments below what your favorite part of that was, what you're most looking excited for. A lot coming up. Let me know. Set rotations, so much happening. But thank you for joining me. Really, 3 for joining me. Meant a lot for you guys to come on today. But thanks so much, guys.
Yeah.
No problem.
Thank you.